Okay, definitely looks like a quotient rule to take this derivative. So remember, the quotient rule says to take the derivative of the top, which we'll call f of x. We'll call the bottom g of x. So we want to find f prime of x. So the derivative of the top. Remember, the cosine is negative sign, and so the 4 just stays out front. So negative 4 sine t. And then leave the bottom alone, sine t. So that's g of x. And then minus, leave the top alone for cosine t, which would be f of x, and then take the derivative of the bottom, which would be the 7 is a constant, so it goes away, plus sine, so that would be cosine. The derivative of sine is cosine. And all over the bottom squared. Now, you never mess with the bottom, just leave it squared. But the top, I can look up here and see there's some things I could do. I could distribute the negative 4 sine, and then of course I can multiply those two together. So I'm going to get what, negative 28 sine t, so that's the first piece, and then minus 4 sine squared t, and then minus 4 cosine squared t, all over the bottom squared. All right, now from here, hopefully you kind of sort of notice, well, you might notice the negative 4 that you could factor out front, but what I notice is the sine squared cosine squared. Okay, so I remember that that equals 1, but what I would do first then, so this equals negative 28 sine t minus, factor out a negative 4, and so I get my sine squared t plus cosine squared t, and then all over the bottom squared. And so from here I can see that that piece equals 1, and thus I get my final answer, which is negative 28 sine t minus 4 all over the bottom squared. Get there too. And that's it.